These are villains that everyone hates, but we're absolutely right. Some are loved, some are hated, some are skinny, and some are built like tanks. Some are goofy, and some don't mess around. Some were wrong, and some were absolutely right. Starting with Gagne from Turbo. Gagne didn't train his whole life, bled on the track, sacrificed everything, just for a random snail to show up and steal the narrative. Gagne earned his place. Every trophy, every interview, every sponsor deal was built on years of dominance. Then Turbo appears. Turbo came in and immediately stole the spotlight from Gagne. Not through discipline, not through grinding, not through earning respect, just luck. And suddenly the cameras move. The crowd stops chanting Gagne's name and starts cheering for a snail. From Gagne's perspective, this isn't magical, and it's insulting. Turbo isn't competition. He's a gimmick. A viral moment pretending to be legacy. Imagine dedicating your entire life to being the best in your field, only for the world to decide that someone who skipped the grind is now more interesting than you. Is Gagne arrogant? Absolutely. Is he petty? Without question. But is he wrong for being furious that his life's work is getting overshadowed by a literal snail? Of course not. Fame is currency in his world. Attention is survival, and Turbo threatens that simply by existing. Gagne didn't hate Turbo because he was fast. He hated him because he was stealing the spotlight. And if that fear sounds familiar, it's because losing relevance doesn't just happen on a racetrack. Sometimes it happens in your own relationship. But speaking of people snapping, let's talk about Ken from the B-Movie. At first, Ken looks insane.
I think something stinks in here!
I love the smell of flowers!
Yeah? How do you like the smell of flames?
Not as much!
Jealous, insecure, unhinged. But then you actually watch the movie. Your girlfriend meets a stranger, immediately defends him, lets him move into your space, laughs with him, sides with him. Oh, and that stranger is a talking bee who's actively suing the human race. And when Ken questions it, he's treated like the problem. Ken didn't go crazy for no reason. He went crazy because no one was listening. And sure, maybe don't try to exterminate bees out of spite, but the disrespect was real. Now contrast that with Syndrome from The Incredibles. Buddy worshipped heroes. Buddy looked up to Mr. Incredible, and that very person turned him down. This made him snap. Buddy reinvented himself as Syndrome. He believed worshipping heroes creates inequality. Unchecked power creates arrogance, and genetics deciding worth is a broken system. Now, obviously, murder robots, child endangerment, kidnapping a baby, that's where the argument falls apart. But his criticism of the system? Uncomfortably accurate. And speaking of broken systems, Tai Lung from Kung Fu Panda was raised as a child of destiny. He was told his entire lifetime that he was meant to be the Dragon Warrior. Tai Lung didn't decide he was special. He was told he was special. Every punch, every scar, every sleepless night. All for a destiny that vanished with one word: no. And when it did, Shifu didn't defend him, didn't explain, didn't guide him, he abandoned him. Tai Lung didn't turn evil because he was denied power. He turned evil because everything he was told about himself collapsed overnight. Was his rampage justified? Absolutely not. But was his anger misplaced? Not even a little. Now let's pivot from emotional trauma to raw survival. Vincent from Over the Hedge. This man was hibernating, minding his business, living peacefully. And RJ didn't borrow food, he erased it. An entire survival stockpile, gone. As if that was not enough, RJ was able to get the food back, only to destroy it right in front of him again. If someone wiped out your food supply twice, you wouldn't give a speech. You'd choose violence. Vincent wasn't evil, he was consequence. At least he was honest about it, unlike Megamind. Or maybe exactly like Megamind, because Megamind was right about something no one wants to admit. Heroes need villains. Metro Man didn't save the city because it needed saving. He did it because it gave him purpose, praise, and applause. Megamind was punished for existing, mocked for losing, defined by a role he never chose. And when the hero leaves, the system collapses. Turns out good and evil weren't opposites. They were codependent. Megamind didn't want to destroy the city, he wanted meaning, and when he finally stopped playing the role assigned to him, everything worked better. Now let's get darker. Lotso from Toy Story 3. This one hurts, because he says the quiet part out loud. Kids outgrow toys, love fades, you get replaced. That truth breaks something in him, and instead of processing it, he decides to control the pain. He builds a hierarchy, creates a prison, turns abandonment into policy. Obviously, absolutely unforgivable behavior. But when he says toys are disposable, look around your childhood bedroom, if it even still exists. Lotso didn't invent the cruelty. He just refused to look away from it. And finally, Dave the Octopus from Penguins of Madagascar. The most ridiculous villain on this list, and maybe the most honest. One mistake, one public humiliation, and his entire career was over. The Penguins? Beloved, untouchable, celebrated. Dave was mocked, discarded, forgotten. Fame didn't choose fairness, it chose favorites. Was his revenge petty? Absolutely, but was the entertainment world cruel to him first? Also yes. Which brings us back to the point. Villains aren't right about what they do, they're right about what broke them. Sometimes evil isn't born, it is created.